Your dungeon master has placed you in a dreadfully precarious position.
Dungeon master and dwarven sword master, hobgoblins, dwarves, elves, and halflings are some of the characters and terms used in this very complicated and controversial game.
You're playing the most phenomenal game ever created.
All right, what's up, everyone? This is a kind of a quick early stream. We are going to kind of stream into the last bit of the Kickstarter here. I should bring it up here. I woke up this morning, and last night it was at 48,000, and within just waking up, going to bed and waking up, we're at 52,305, which is just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me that it's done as well as it has done. I have to say I'm super thankful to all of you, that supported this, that pledged. I couldn't do what I do without you guys. I started this channel like during 2020, I think during COVID, and started it with nothing and just started talking about games, and people kind of came along for the ride, watched, I think, a lot of ways me develop my philosophy on games over that time. And I didn't start with designing games, but within that time, develop my own games. So it's just crazy to go from that to this point now. It's bigger than I ever would have dreamed to be able to, pay the bills essentially by designing stupid elf games. And I think it's also a testament that a lot of you guys have proven that people are interested in old school D&D, and they're interested in 0E in particular. And that I think part of why it's done so well is that it's not a BX clone. It's actually, I think the scope that Wight-Box tries to limit itself to is what makes it unique. Where it's trying to do something that with 0E that's true to form with the spirit of the game and what 0E is and was, especially in that really, I think, unique time frame of 1974 before Supplement 1 came out. And it's so to me that people want to try this and go along with what's going on here with Wight-Box is like super special to me. Let's put some chat up here. Let's see. Mothman, let's go. That's right. Nice. People tend to jump on a KS in the last 48 hours or so. Glad to see it get that much support. Thank you. Yeah, there's, they say that they say it's like U-shaped, where you got like your big initial push in with all your backers, and then it kind of, you have the middle lull where everyone's sort of just watching it, and then at the last minute, everyone sort of backs it. Because I think at 48 hours, I think Kickstarter sends people an email notification that we're following the project, saying, hey, this is going to end soon. I've had that happen to me with projects that that I've followed. So you guys will have to excuse me. This is for Shane's comment. I thought you were on your deathbed. Well, I'm still kind of sick. I still have some like post-nasal drip. Still got a slight cough. I'm not super great right now, but trying to hang in there. I was going to stream last night for that final push, but my kid was homesick yesterday too. If only I could be 5 again and recover as quickly as she does, but she's she's back at school today. So thank you, Grognard Nightmares. Appreciate it. Hello, Drama Goblin. I'm congested. I'm not on the verge of crying. I'm touched, and I do feel joy and emotions and all that stuff in regards to this Kickstarter here, but no, it's just like I've been battling sickness for about a week and a half, and it's just like lingering. I'll have to pick it up later. Can't afford it right now, but I'm always happy for some more zero prep tools. Yeah. I don't think I offer anything too new in here. But it does and I think it's going to express itself well with the adventures. In fact, I should show you guys the adventure that I'm working on for Wight-Box. Let me open up Affinity. What's up, Victor?
Hey, guess we're live already. What's up, everyone?
Sorry, I wanted to get it go live at least for a little bit while the Kickstarter was going.
I literally just pulled out of bed and I saw it, so I was just in time.
So good. I even said in the admin chat, like, if none of you guys can make it, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't mind streaming early. It's fine. Gives me more time later.
But yeah, we're at 52,394. That's crazy.
Yeah,
5
that's
minutes
awesome.
to go. I should throw the Kickstarter link in here.
So a bit over 20,000 over your goal. That's like nothing to sneeze at, I don't think.
No, yeah.
That was pretty much like profit you calculated, right? So
yeah, I would make an okay profit with what my original goal was of 32.
Yeah.
But with this, I it's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in the chat here. So if you go here, if you still want to back it, if you haven't backed it yet, you can go here to back it. I was gonna show the adventure that I've been working on.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Which I'm giving to every tier as a PDF for free, and I decided to give if you want to do the if you want to do a print version, I'll do it through DTRPG, where you'll have the option. Everyone will have the option to get the at cost printing for it. So let me see here. We'll stop that, and I wish it was easier to share stuff. StreamYard does always making you go back and forth between all the tabs.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to move the chat for just a second here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, the Tower of Mazirabon is what I'm calling it. And I haven't even gotten to designing the tower part yet because I've just been having so much fun designing the adventure area. So the goal of this setting, and it's something I plan to do for all future supplements for Wight-Box, is let me see here. I should actually well, it doesn't matter. It's going to use a part of the adventuring game board here that comes with the box set. So if you get the box set and you get this, like, this is going to say, hey, this is what this part of the map is. This is the names of those places, and this is what those places are. And talking of zero prep tools, because I want to write adventures the way I think adventures should be written. And I'm more of a fan of like old school stuff, like Keep on the Borderlands, or there's some basic fantasy adventures that there's one that's kind of like Keep on the Borderland. What's it called? Caves of Chaos or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I have it somewhere.
Where, you're sort of given a home base and then a wilderness area that you can kind of explore and adventure in. And there's no adventure path, it's just sort of like, this is who's here and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the players can kind of go wherever they want. I want to encourage sandbox play. I don't want to encourage running a novel, essentially. So I have tips on like customizing the adventure area, which gives you like further ruin types, because I do give you like some basic ruin type stuff that's kind of derived from 1E in this. If I go here, where's the hex generations? Right here. So you have like, this is from like 1E style where, you know, you roll a percentile dice and then you might get some ruins or something like that. So I give like an optional table here where there's like a simple ruin type here where there's like a ruined village, city, shrine, or tomb. Obviously, these are areas to explore. So in this adventure, I give you more stuff specific to the environment that this is in here that you can roll on this table instead if you wanted to. So I give you that. I just want to give more tools for things like that. We got, this is a big city area that you can use as an adventuring area.
Nice. Yeah.
Built that in Canvas of Kings.
Yeah, I still need to figure that out, but I'm dumb, so.
Yeah, it's all good. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
72 seconds to go. I should actually, sorry, we should go back to looking at the.
Yeah, that's fine. It's your stream, man. Do whatever you want.
We should go back to looking at the Kickstarter here.
It just goes up by like 20 grand. Oh.
So we're at 50 seconds to go.
Nice.
52,466.
Yeah, my original estimate was about 50K, so I'm not far off.
Yeah, I was looking at like 40 to 60K. I was kind of guessing where it would end up at. So kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of my own projection cone.
I'm pretty good at guessing Kickstarters for some reason. I don't know.
20 seconds. Pretty nuts. 690 backers too. I think Makuhito only got 535. So
yeah,
that's significant.
How long are you gonna keep late pledges open for?
Maybe for like a couple weeks. Not super long. I can't for the box set. Here we go. 3, 2.
Yeah, because you have to order it. Yeah, of course.
We're done.
I mean, awesome. $1 short of 500.
Almost even. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
691 backers.
Is there a way for the late pledges to just turn off the box set and only keep like PDF and stuff open? Because then you can just run those indefinitely.
Yeah, I might do that. I might do the might do the PDFs and all that stuff indefinitely.
And the print on demand.
And the print on demand indefinitely. And then the box set will have to be separate because actually
because Blacklight is still late pledge. The late pledges are still open, and I've probably made like $2,000 or $3,000 extra out of that just so far.
And you guys pushed me to the next tier that I'm gonna have to order for which is fine because I'm so overfunded. It's gonna be fine and work out great. But like I was originally thinking like, 500 will be enough. Like I have 459 at the Lord level for just the box set, and then for the King level, we're at 69.
Yeah.
So that's over 500.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to order like 750 or something like that. So I think after everyone is fulfilled, like I'll do like Makuhito where like maybe I can open up through this store. And then through my web store, if you want to order a box set, I'll do that. But so I'm glad I'm overfunded there. But thank you everyone. Grognard TX, well done. Congratulations. Congrats. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm still like flabbergasted.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It means really successful Kickstarter, man.
And we still got people.
I haven't reached that kind of money yet, so yeah, you're ahead of me.
I still got people backing because now we're at 52,579.
Yeah, late pledges are still open.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
I would probably announce that late pledges are still open because not everyone like looks at that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it looks like on their end because I can't, because I'm the owner of the Kickstarter. I can't.
Let me see.
it should probably display on the side here that they can still pledge, I would guess. We're here in rewards.
I backed it, so I'm not sure what it shows for me.
Let me I'll log out. If I log
I'm
out,
not
maybe.
seeing anything. So do you get anything special for being back in #1 and the cool boy? Or
Oh, okay.
do I get like a signed box?
Maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do
Yeah.
that for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I could try and figure that out. My signature is like terrible, but you know.
Yeah, that's fine. That makes it cooler.
People can still pledge, and it's at a higher price, which I feel like is only, it's not that much higher, but I feel like that's only fair.
Yeah.
Like if you, maybe some people got ornery about that, but you know, you can still get it, but you missed the campaign where you could get in on the ground floor. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they had a month to get it, man.
That's crazy. 52,579.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Anyways, let me go back to my screen here.
Giant Holland. Stop, Giant Holland. Holland boy.
Excuse me.
It says, yeah, I will do your pledge manager.
Their Kickstarter does have a pledge manager. So I think that it probably can change. I haven't looked into that yet, but I'll double check that for you, and if it's possible, I'll make an update on the Kickstarter page saying like, this is what it is and what it's about. But I'll look into it.
A lot of people use the backer kit one, and I've never figured out how to set that up. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. But like I said, though, Kickstarter has their own pledge manager that they have now, like finally. So
yeah, that's
it should be good. Will this be compatible with 1E? Oh, thank you, Mothman. I appreciate it again. Will this be compatible with 1E modules? I'm a newbie looking to DM for the first time and love the idea of running Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Yeah, 0E and 1E, there's going to be like some differences. So for instance, hit die for monsters, you're going to want to use a D6 hit die rather than like the D8.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to just like read the rules of Wight-Box. Off the top of my head, though, I don't think there's anything that would be from Expedition to Barrier Peak, which I have that. I don't think there's anything in that would be overtly incompatible.
Unless it's like a custom monster that's like specific to Barrier Peaks or whatever. But like everything else, like, oh, you run into like 20 orcs, okay? Just use the Wight-Box orcs then.
Yeah. And the creature too, like you might just have to change all damage die to a D6 as well if it's like a special custom creature. Because everything, all the damage, all the hit die in Wight-Box and in 0E are on a D6. I'm not doing the Greyhawk thing here. So
though if you keep the hit die the same and it's D8, it just makes this monster extra scary. Like,
true.
I mean, that's also kind of fun.
No one says nothing says you can't do that. Friends made it sound like a bad idea. I think that if you're reasonably intelligent, man, you shouldn't be too big of a deal. I would encourage you to do it. I don't think it's a bad idea.
So. I think it would work fine. All that stuff is fairly cross compatible.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm writing an adventure for this as well that I'm going to give to all of you that will be based on that adventure game board here. Let me go to it here because I know I have the map here. So here, the adventure that I'm writing takes place up here in this northern area that I'm hovering my mouse around. So my plan is like, it'd be cool to do over here and then like, hey, what's over here? Let's say what this place is or what this place is. And all these different, have different supplements that sort of flesh out everywhere on this adventure game board that's going to come with it, I think that would be I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But let me go back to talking about this adventure. All right. So like I said, this is the city. This is Baleport, which is that red city that's kind of in the bay of over on the top there. I give you some extra areas to sort of flesh out the areas of the plains here. That might make it more unique to this area to sort of help flesh it out. My goal with this adventure is that like I give you good adventure. I give you like a dungeon. I'm gonna give you a dungeon, multi-level dungeon. I don't know how many levels, maybe like 5 levels of dungeon. I'm not going to do the whole 12 like Gary suggests, but let's say like 4 to 5 levels of dungeon. You're going to have this adventure area. I give you jousting is a big part of Wight-Box and 0E. So I actually, one of my favorite games on PC is Mountain Blade. I love Mountain Blade. And I always loved going on Mountain Blade and like going around to all the different tournaments and betting on myself.
Yeah.
And making money. And so I wanted to do something like that here in Baleport, where like there's a chance, a 2 in 8 chance that there's a jousting tournament with prizes going on, and that you could also make bets on yourself to win more gold if you wanted to, because I just think that that's fun.
Yeah.
And there'll be jousting and melee tournaments as well. And then I kind of just I'm going through right now all these different areas and kind of fleshing out what they are. So in the castle, you know, you have the king, you have his knights. What was funny is I used the Wight-Box rules here, and just to kind of show you like how you can construct your own adventures in Wight-Box with these tools. I used this here. So I rolled on this, and I think I got like a lord. And which one was it? Oh, I think I misread it. Oh well. I'll have to change it. Maybe not. It doesn't matter. But what I did is I rolled on this, and it determined like what kind of. It was interesting because it's like the king had like I think I misread the table. I meant lord, and I looked at this and I got treant. But it doesn't matter. It actually made for a more interesting story, in my opinion, to me,
Yeah.
where like he's a lord, which is a specific level in Wight-Box. So if you were a level 9 fighting man is the king of Baleport. And I determined that he had one treant that was like serves him. And so like I'm rolling this and I'm like, how do I make this make sense? And to me, that's like the fun part of like low to zero prep, right? Is trying to figure that out. And so, I made this whole like backstory of when he was still a prince. He was fighting for his father, went through this forest and told his men, like, don't chop down any of the trees. There's something special about this forest. There's something sacred, he could sense it. And then he, the next morning, a treant named, what was the treant's name? Gentlewood appeared to him and was like, hey, you're all right. You didn't burn down my forest. You didn't chop down some trees. I'll send you through a secret path to flank your enemies. And so he did, and the prince, then now King Andronicos the sixth, was successful. And when he became king, he made the forest a protected area, and then Gentlewood kind of went and lived with him. And so now, like, it kind of made me, when I was designing this area, it's hard to see here, but like the area here is like so full of trees because Gentlewood is like up here just taking care of the gardens of the king and acting as an advisor to him. I just think it kind of, you kind of get like some fun story beats that you can while you're playing. And it's good practice, I think, for zero prep or for just prep in general, where you get something really quick and then you got to just try and make sense of it. So I give statistics about all this kind of stuff for like wealth, how much wealth these characters have. And part of that too is if you want to, Bronsteins are all the rage right now, or if you just want to have a continual ongoing game, and when you want to give a player like King Andronicos the Sixth as like a downtime character to run, so that they're running all the things that king is doing, his wealth, what kind of weapons and armor he has, and the resources that are at his disposal. I list the number of soldiers that he has on hand at all times, and how much he could muster from the people of Baleport, which is a very large city, has 30,000 people. So how many like, peasants could he rally as well or conscript. So I give you all that kind of stuff too, along with the people that serve under him. So if you wanted to run the big grand campaign, like Gary suggests, with up to 50 people, and you want to have movers and shakers in your campaign world ran by players, I wanted to give you the tools to do that.
Yeah, that's fun. I might have to steal that for my adventures.
I think it's just a good idea. And again, it's one of those things where it's like you as the referee can look at this and just run these characters as you want, or like I said, and you have statistics of players encounter them, fight them, ally with them, go on an adventure with one of these characters. That's entirely possible as the characters level up and gain maybe notoriety. So I wanted to give that. I give you like a tavern generator. I think those are fun. I have also the patriarch here, kind of what is available to him. I give you the religion of it, which is pretty much just like Christianity with the serial numbers filed off. Just because I feel like that's just what works for me.
Is that the incarnate one?
Yeah. Well, there's like it's a Trinitarian religion still, so it's like the monarch, the incarnate one, and the invisible sanctifier.
That makes sense. I like the name, still very invoking.
Yeah. And then I give you some feedback or some background on what like the humanoids, like elves and dwarves and halflings, are in relation to this religion, because they're not necessarily human. Where do they come from? Essentially, they are human in my setting, in my world, in my explanation.
Children of Cain,
kind of, or just like these divergent groups that sort of went off in their own path, and they can be redeemed, but.
Well, I was just reading like the son was a man who was sinned by committing the first murder of his own brother. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, the dwarves are descendants from Nephilim who like escaped a cataclysmic event underground, and kind of came back. So I give you some stuff for that. I give you some adventure seeds. These are really cool. I always like these because again, it's like a zero prep thing. So you can roll 3d12, and so you could. So I'm going to roll here. So you got 3, which is a priest. Number 2 desires a special relic or object. And then 3, while making someone else seem at fault. So that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know how you would play that out, but you could try it. For me, that's the fun of it, is like, how would I make this this play out? Like maybe there's a holy relic that's been stolen somewhere, and it's in the hands. Yeah. It's in the hands of like another diplomatic noble from like another kingdom, and it's like, well, that's rightfully that relic of a saint or whatever was stolen from us, and that rightly belongs in our church, and you stole it, but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to be caught with it. So maybe the priest is trying to organize a secondhand person to go retrieve it and make it look like just regular thieves stole it or something, But you get a lot of things like that. And I give you a smaller table for other areas like this as well. There's the docks. You got random encounter tables. There's a thieves guild here. So this is where it gets interesting with which the thieves might try and shake you down. So I give you a 2d6 table about if you do randomly encounter thieves guild thugs who kind of run the docks, they'll give you like a shakedown. So like empty your pockets. They'll like to make demands of lots of gold or silver from the players if they encounter them. But this is where it gets interesting, where I give you these guys too. So like Jorgen is the leader of the Thieves Guild, and his brother Durinar is like second in command. So if you wanted to give, again, in that grand campaign, you can run these as yourself, or you could give these to another player and say, hey, you're the Thieves Guild guy, like go and build your criminal empire on the docks, and obviously this guy is going to be he's going to be a problem for the king who lives in the Bailey. These guys aren't these guys aren't on good terms. They don't like each other, obviously. So, and I have their lieutenants as well, and what kind of magic items, if any, they have, and the monetary resources available to them. I'll also tell you how many actual members are in the guild, the Thieves Guild, in the area too. So like if combat comes about, and then I give you like another adventure seed generator. So I don't know, these are fun for me. 7, a caravan leader. Number 2, wants a shipment stolen. Number 8, in order to expose a grand conspiracy. So maybe there's some sort of sensitive material being shipped out, and he wants you to go do it. So I'm trying to give you like lots of ways for this adventure to go, and kind of go. I encourage you to go off the rails with this, and then I give you another one here for the farming areas around the town, and that's kind of where I'm at. And then I'm going to get to the village of Black Tree, which is going to be potentially another home base for the players to rest at, and then we'll get to the tower as well, which I haven't mapped out like this for the exterior, but and interior, but I need to get to the subterranean levels as well. So it'll have like vertical layers to go up in the tower, and then there's going to be a dungeon basement for multiple levels of the dungeon as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a big adventure, and it's going to, like I said, this is going to be a free PDF with everyone who backed at any tier. So if you just got PDFs, you'll get the PDF, and y'all still give you the option to get print-on-demand version from DriveThruRPG if you want to pay the at-cost printing and shipping for that. Everyone else will also get it as well. And I'm going to print it at the same size as the booklets so that it should fit in the box. So
nice.
I think that'd be fun if the adventure fit in the box.
Yeah. D-Dude says he wants a black powder supplement for Wight-Box.
Are you the one that someone had mentioned that on someone had mentioned that on the Kickstarter page, and I was like, that's true, and that is something I've been thinking about, of like adding cannons and guns and things like that. How would I go about doing that? And yeah, I'm going to I'll look into that. Maybe I can incorporate that into this first module. I'll look at chainmail.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. Refer to my previous comments. Oh, okay.
Well, I'm working on a modern gun supplement, of course. So if you want modern guns, you can come to me.
Me go back.
Give me money. Screw black powder. We're running around with AKs, boys.
I just got here. Is that Greece? Yes. So the thing that I based the map on is I had an original map that was made, and it had like lakes and stuff, but it didn't have large bodies of water. And the thing is that a lot of aerial and naval combat is presented in Wight-Box and in 0E, and I wanted to give space to have that happen, as well as space for wilderness adventuring. And Greece, I was looking all over the world at places, and I was just looking at Greece, and I'm like, Greece is just perfect. Like, it's no wonder there's so many myths about sailing and about overland adventure in this area, because it's just, there's a perfect amount of land to explore, and there's a perfect amount of ocean to explore as well. So I just copied the landmass of Greece. You could pretend it's Greece yourself. I even put, not all, but a lot of the cities in the same spot is where there are cities, but you don't necessarily have to do that. I just was interested in like a landmass that was realistic, and there's nothing more realistic than what exists in our world. So,
have you ever played Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
No, I never played that. I like the last one I played, and I didn't even finish it, was the one that was the American Revolution.
Oh, yeah. This one's after, but it's like one of the more newfangled ones that turn it into like an action, like adventure, like exploration RPG, and some people don't like that. But I actually really like Odyssey because it's all like just running around ancient Greece, being like an awesome like Spartan and just fighting like giant dudes, and like it's really fun actually.
I played the first one. I think I played the second one where he's in Italy.
Yeah.
And then
and
then I played part of I think the third one was the third one the American Revolution one?
Was it? I can't remember. There was so many. So I didn't even play them all at that point. They just I feel like 3 months like there was a new one coming out.
They got kind of repetitive to me too. Even the first one, like I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
But it became very monotonous and repetitive to me, where I sort of like I just sort of finished it out of the fact that I felt obligation to finish it.
Yeah. But the franchise is pretty shit now. Like Odyssey was probably the last one I really enjoyed. The Viking one was alright, but I never finished it. The new one is terrible, I hear. But Black Flag is also good if you like pirates, but not to completely go off the rails. But I just wanted to bring up Assassin's Creed Odyssey because you made me think of that with like the whole Greece thing, and it's like a really good like action like adventure RPG set in ancient Greece. So
yeah, I think I just saw Greece and I was like, looking at that landmass and then thinking about all the myths I've read and stuff. I'm like, it makes sense that that there's so many stories that come out of Greece that are like epic adventure stories. Look at this landmass. It's perfect for adventuring. D-Dude says, course, yeah, like Mountain Blade. LOL. Also, someone in Kickstarter comments mentioned chainmail black powder rolls. I see your comment. Yeah, okay. And the possibility of them being added. I would like to say that I am very for it. I will definitely. You're the second person to say that, so I will definitely look into that as an option, as well, for sure. I will say yes. I will put that in, and I will work on that to make that happen. Porting in matchlocks, wheel locks, swivel guns, small, medium, large cannons and mortars, mini mortars, petards, grenades, and basically everything from the 1500s era of best intentions warfare. I agree. That'd be fun. Hey, what's up, Jack?
What's up, Jack? Oh, it's past 5 p.m. You finished your Kickstarter, so cheers, buddy.
Thanks. I should go make another coffee or something.
Yeah.
I don't have a drink here. I was just on Jack's stream on Monday.
Yeah,
and we talked about old school gaming and whatnot. It was a fun conversation, so I'd say go check out Jack. I think he's trying to grow his channel. He just got over 100 subs, so check out his channel. He's always
I watched it yesterday, I think, while I was hunting dinosaurs in a video game, and it was a good stream. And you said very nice things about me, so thank you.
Well, I mean it. So
yeah.
Congrats on the Kickstarter. Thank you. What's up, Dom? Is it going to be written as a teaching module? Will it have some basic expert philosophy on running the game? A little bit. Like, I think I give you like those tables, for instance, on like generating an adventure, for example, like that the players could theoretically hear in each of those areas of the city. And I give you an example role. So it's like, and how to interpret that. So let me look at it here. I'll read a section here from the module. So let's see. So it says, for example, a roll of 6, 3, and 4 results in the hook. A mercenary wants a shipment protected before a particular boat sets sail. How can you make such a role interesting? Perhaps the mercenary has been hired by the king to protect a shipment critical to a war effort for one of his allies. The Thieves Guild has, in turn, been hired by the king's foes to sabotage both the ship and the shipment. The players must protect the ship on the final night before it sets sail. What kind of assault could occur? Maybe it's a frontal attack, a direct rush from the guild thugs armed with torches and axes aiming to breach the deck and set the cargo on fire. Sabotage, maybe a few nimble thieves sneak aboard, trying to poison the crew, scuttle the hull below the waterline, or cut the rigging to delay the launch past its critical departure window. Kidnapping. The opposing faction knows the king values the mercenary or the captain, and thus try to capture them for leverage, forcing the players to fight defensively while protecting key NPCs. And then element of surprise. The assault could come from the water via small silent rowboats, or from the rooftops of the nearby warehouse via ropes or zip lines. So I try and like give you a role, and then from that little role, like how would you let your imagination run wild and sort of make that happen, and then running your players through that.
Yeah.
You know? And again, like at the start, as we're exploring the plains of the area here, you know, some of the options that you have are like an ancient tomb or burial mound, the ruined remains of an old observatory, a collapsed underground vault, a glassed crater from a long ago magical cataclysm, a small amphitheater where a strange ritual may have taken place. So like I try and give you these like interesting descriptors that you can sort of read and then figure out what those should be and how to make up those things on the own. And then, you know, like Wight-Box has tables, like adjective tables. So let's say it's the amphitheater one, and you're like, well, I need more than that. You could roll on the adjectives table. Let me let me switch here to back to this here. You could roll on the adjective tables here of book 3 of Wight-Box and try and figure out like what it should be. So I'll roll a d4 for the column, so it's going to be column 3. Then we'll roll a percentile dice to see what like a descriptor for it would be. It would be 33. So 33 is elven. So it's like this amphitheater is elven in nature. Maybe I want another descriptor because that's not like enough. So column 1 and 82. Insidious. So like what, and you know, what kind of insidious elvish stuff was going on here. So I try and give you stuff like this within all the Wight-Box stuff that can help you sort of generate stuff on the fly or during your prep in order to make interesting and cool stuff that get your imagination going and whatnot.
Zero prep supremacy.
Yeah. Look, let's say you also want to describe some things here too. Like let's use a cryptor tomb table here. You know, so you roll a percentile dice, 47 for this amphitheater. There's the faint smell of mold within this. So it's insidious, elven. There's the faint scent of mold. Maybe there's like some kind of like mold creature here that they're feeding sacrifice victims to. Elves were feeding sacrifice victims to like long ago, or maybe they still do it, you know?
Yeah.
Instant right there, you got something interesting to throw at your players.
So. Instant vibes, instant plot, instant whatever. Yeah. But you know, you can't do that. You can't generate story on the fly, John.
Well, we just did.
Yeah.
So that's the goal with a lot of this stuff here. Deuce Volt. God wills it, it's true. Yo, congrats on the Kickstarter. Congrats on the Wight-Box success. Thank you, poor orc child. People are. I'm still trying to catch up on on this. Yeah, Ranos agrees. Greece has pretty good topography for adventure. The Philippines is really good too. That's true. A lot of you know, like there's a lot of interesting stories of like Spanish crusaders in the Philippines doing stuff. So that's true.
I had a modern adventure set in the Philippines about going after the lost Imperial Japanese gold.
Yeah. The Philippines too, it just makes me think. Because when the Spaniards arrived, there's a story of them bringing a few hundred Aztec warriors with them, actually, which just makes me want to do Makuhitl and figure out like something with that. That's been in the back of my mind for a bit. It'd been like conquistadors with Aztecs fighting Islamists.
Yeah,
like that's like pretty weird. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm still recovering from sickness. For my homebrew campaign, I wanted it to be an archipelago, so I just traced the map of the Philippines and renamed everything. There you go.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned conquistadors and Aztecs fighting Muslims. Like I could see like an alternate history where like the Ottoman Empire like also gets to America or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's the thing with like history too. Like I've been reading a lot of John Julius Norwich's History of Byzantium. And you like read history, like I said, this historical point of like conquistadors bringing various Aztec warriors with them that were allied with them to the Philippines or no, maybe it was Malaysia. It was some Asian country like that. Regardless, you know, you look at something like that and you're like, that's way more weird and wild than like anything I could think of. Like it almost sounds unbelievable, and stuff like that with like within Byzantine history as well. Like I'm reading the first book in his Byzantium trilogy from Sir Norwich, and there's stuff in the history of Byzantium where I'm like reading it and like, this is way more interesting than any of the nonsense that George R.R. Martin has written in Game of Thrones, you know. So
well, it's like one of those things where like if you're trying to craft your own campaign or whatever and you like want to do something and you're like, oh no, that's implausible, that would never happen, like that's stupid. Then you read like real history and like the most implausible shit like happens, like you're like, it's completely nonsensical, but it happens. So you're like, okay, well, I guess it can happen. So
yeah, it's you read history and you like get inspired, but then you also see like, okay, there's some really weird, crazy stuff really can happen.
It's the
Flip
same when
Mich-
you're trying to come up with like place names and you're like trying to come up with some like really interesting like elvish names and stuff, and then you read like real place names and it's just like Rivertown.
Yeah.
and there's like 12 of them in the same area.
I'll do that. Like I'll go look
Yeah.
on Google Maps and I'll just like go over Europe or over like Eastern Europe or the Middle East or all these places and I'll like, oh, that's an interesting name for a place. Like I'll just pick that.
Yeah.
And if maybe I'll even like change the spelling a little bit, but it
Yeah.
just enough to get inspired for like the name of a place.
Well, even in French, like it'll be some beautiful name, and then you translate it, and it's just like the town by the riverbanks. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, another river town. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for no problem, Jack. You run a cool channel.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
not that cool. I haven't been on yet, but you know, it's all right.
What are we at now? Let's look at this. 52,614.
Nice.
Crazy. People are still backing. Late pledges are still going. It's going to be a little more expensive at this point, but late pledges are still going.
Yeah, you can set it so the price goes up, right?
Yeah.
Late pledges, yeah.
Let's see. Catch up here. You must stop pirates from the adventure we generated with the Wight-Box rules. You must stop pirates from stealing the king's 100k pound shipment of butter for his army. I like it. I like butter, so
yeah. I'm the
Thank
boy
you.
with the butter.
See ya, Jack. Aztecs and conquistadors fighting against Muslims and Chinese pirates. Yeah. Herbert used Mesoamerican tribe names for Dune. I could see that. Typical Mountain Blade army. All right, now I'm caught up. Excuse me. Yeah, 52,614. That's crazy. So I guess I should tell people, because people have asked, like, I'll reiterate. I think I'm gonna have probably for the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, I will have late pledges open for the box set itself.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be a point where it's time to send the order over to manufacturing. So late pledges will end at that point. Maybe if I can, I'll turn them back on after the fact if there's any left, and I can kind of limit the number. But or I'll sell them on my website, thebasicexpert.com. But those will end at some point because just by the nature of what I have to do to make this fulfilled successfully, I'm going to have to close it out. This is the end of it for at least this point. And then I'll send it off to the manufacturer to get everything printed and created and shipped over here. I will keep like I think Vic suggested, I will keep the print on demand version probably open indefinitely, as well as the PDFs, because those are easy to fulfill on my end.
And it's just more money for you. Like I said,
Yeah.
Blacklight, I've probably made $2,000 to $3,000 extra so far just from the late pledges. So it's not that this needs that.
And I mean, it's just like, I just want to buy the game, you know.
Yeah.
It's just essentially that. Like the price that would be on the Kickstarter will probably be the same as you would be able to get it on eventually on DriveThruRPG or Lulu. And I am using Lulu for fulfillment, which I'm hoping will for the print on demand, which I'm hoping will make things a lot easier for people. So not that DriveThruRPG is terrible, but I always get that person that's like complaining when they back it at a certain level and then they realize they have to pay the at cost and the shipping still. And it's like, just give me all the money that you want to pay for it, and then I will pay for the shipping through that for you and just send you the book. Lulu allows you to do that. So hopefully that works out well.
I think you can technically do that on DriveThruRPG too, but it's just more of a pain.
Yeah. Lulu has like a mass uploader. So like I can get the CSV file from Kickstarter, and then I can upload that to Lulu and just say like, make this order happen, and then they'll do it. So
yeah, Yeah, no, Drive-Thru does that too, but it's just, I don't know. Also, the quality is not as good as Lulu, in my opinion.
Lulu's better. Like I got these
Yeah.
here, and these like turned out really good. These are the Lulu versions here, and they're perfect bound, so they're not saddle stitched or anything like that. The limitation there is, I think it's book 3. This one's like bigger than all the others, and it's too big for Lulu apparently to saddle stitch. So rather than have like these two be saddle stitched and then this one perfect bound, I just made them all perfect bound just to keep everything the same.
Makes sense.
But the books for the box set will all be saddle stitched, just because tradition. That's how the original box set was. They'll have like nice covers and be saddle stitched. So
yeah.
What else is there to cover? You'll all get in that adventure that I talked about, and there'll be more to come. I guess if you guys have questions too in the comment section, you want insights or questions about something, let me know. Feel free to ask them as well.
I just got an email that I have to fix my payment because I have a prepaid credit card, so there's probably not enough on it. I just need to put some shit on it.
Yeah, I printed some West End Game Star Wars D6 books because I have original copies from Lulu, but I printed my own other copies for use at the table because I don't necessarily want Cheeto fingers all over my original 1E books. So Star Wars 1E books. So I made like my own copies and use those at the table, and they've been really great. Especially they were hardcover too, and they worked out really well. The hardcover from Drive-Thru RPG is just not ideal. It falls apart. This is probably not going to be an option just because the way the books are getting printed, they're getting made with all the elements through a single company that's doing the box set. And I don't think I'll be able, it's going to be too much of a headache to get saddle stitched for it. Maybe what I will do in the future, as people have requested this, and I'll do it through Lulu, is I'll make an option to get copies of the booklets maybe as spiral bound. I know some people like that. So maybe if you want some spiral bound copies, I'll get that set up in the future. I wasn't able to get that set up as an add-on for this Kickstarter, but maybe as a future thing, I can set that up. So
yeah.
For the moment, unfortunately, multiple box sets would be the only way. It's just the nature of how I'm ordering the books and who's producing them and how it's going to be. It'd just be too much of an extra cost via packaging and whatnot. Too much of a headache to get it all separated
extra
out.
Logistics.
I don't feel like dealing with that. So
no, I don't blame you. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, people like spiral bound, so I'll look into getting spiral bound set up on Lulu for people to get it that way if they want. I kind of wish Drive-Thru RPG. I don't know if they can do spiral bound. I don't think they do, but be nice if they did. I like spiral bound for parts at the table to actually like lay it flat or have like play copies for people to, again, get their greasy Cheeto Mountain Dew fingers all over. Wight-Box Byzantium. I don't know if Wight-Box will be Byzantium. I think I want to have Wight-Box focused on fantasy settings. But, Vic and I are talking about this Cowpunchers turning that into a universal system. And I think doing Byzantium and at some point the Reconquista of the Iberian Peninsula for me are two settings that I'd really like to do. So it might be for that system that I would do something like that.
Yeah, the basics system.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll want to take. We'll probably kickstart that. We'll probably kickstart that at some point in the future once we're ready to go. We're not even like at brainstorming ideas yet because originally it was going to be like redacted, and it was going to be like a new like cleaned up rule set of the Cowpuncher system in redacted. But then we're like, we should just make it a universal system, and then redacted can be like just one of many different.
Because we've got so many cool setting ideas. So
yeah, and it can just be like one setting that would be for that. So we sort of have pivoted plans, so it's going to take some planning, I think.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it though, because I think it'll be fun. And like you, I've wanted like a system that's not OSR to like tinker with.
Yeah, I think that I like what I did with Cow Punchers. I think it's a fun, easy system to mess with and hack. So I think it'd be fun to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, I had fun making Waste Runners, so yeah.
Yeah. Hatless Ash. I'm curious how you're using ACS, the alternative combat system, to replace fantasy combat, specifically within a mass combat scenario. Are you still tracking hit points, or hit equals kill? So a hit is a whole hit die worth of damage. So you can track hit points for heroes probably if you wanted to. I think that tracking hit points for heroes is easy, but tracking you would just remove like a whole hit die worth of. So if like a creature has 6, let's say a creature has 6 hit die, and it gets hit by a troop of 10 heavy footmen, and 6 of those footmen land a hit on that 6 hit die creature, well then that's all 6 hit die removed. That creature's slain or incapacitated. It's a kill. So you would roll. So let's say it's 10 footmen against the 6 hit die creature, whatever its AC is, and whatever the light. I don't remember what the light footman hit die are or AC is. You'd roll 6 for the creature. You'd roll 6 d20s against the heavy footman's AC, and you'd roll 10 d20s against the creature's AC. And whatever hits is like a total. It's a whole hit die removed. And so mass combat's going to work in that way. Yeah. And I'm also using more of the 3 LBBs stuff for like morale and things like that, which I think does account for things like once you lose like 1/3 of your men, you should do like a morale check, etc., etc. So it's more just like trying to get everything on a universal system with things being informed from chainmail for the parts that are missing in the 3 LBBs, like initiative. I think for mass combat, if I remember correctly, I tell people to do the writing your movements on like an index card or a note or a piece of paper, and then everything is simultaneous from chainmail. So, that means like as you're moving troops, like they might get into a point where ranged combat or melee is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I just explained, you don't have to track hit points unless you would want to. I think that option's there, but but you don't have to. Excuse me. I do have like a bigger section written that I added on the adventuring section for like how to do mass combat. I also give you movement costs. So like if you're having movements in like different formations, like how many penalties in inches are going to happen to change from like a line to a column to a square, line to square. Fatigue, I have a variant of fatigue in here. Facing, how your units change facing, and then attacks from on high. So like if you're above a wall and the troop units are trying to assault the wall, attacks from on top of the wall, they get to go first in combat. So I try and import as much as I can into the mass combat section. It's really simple. It's only like a page and a half, but it's enough, I think, with the other aspects of Wight-Box and the resolution systems to sort of make the mass combat feel a little more unique and wargamery. So
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, if you guys have more questions, let me know. I don't know what else to talk about. Like
what's the meaning of life?
Oh, you're gonna get me preaching at that point. That's it's not a good idea. Yeah, I think I guess I'll talk about things I want to do in the future with it too. I am going to set up a very simple license system, kind of aping what Kelsey Dion did for Shadow Dark. Very simple. Essentially, just don't copy me word for word, and don't unless the art, because some of the art I use is art that I've put into the Creative Commons. So you can use that art, but like art that isn't, like obviously you can't do that. But I want to make a very generous and easy to use perpetual license where it's just like, give me credit and then you can put compatible with Wight-Box on your product. And, you know, when is Vic releasing 2D8?
I kind of, I'll just say that I kind of abandoned that because I had a decent core system build, but I don't know, it was still kind of like rough, and I couldn't figure certain things out. So I kind of decided, like, well, John already has, like, you know, his cowpuncher system. I've already done stuff for it. I like it. I know he has plans for it. So I kind of suggested, like, hey, why don't we, like, you know, work together to like make this universal system, and that can kind of just be both our system, like our non-OSR system, then that we can do stuff with. So that's kind of going to be the replacement for 2D8, I think. So I'm probably going to, like, I had like some settings and all that stuff planned for 2D8, so I'm probably just going to do it for the cowpunchers. We call it the basics system. So BASIX.
And I guess like for future projects that are not Wight-Box, I guess I'm open to people telling me what they want too. Like we want to work on a 5e clone too at some point. I think slowly. I think it'd be fun to have like a 5e cyclopedia essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
Where everything's in one book, and maybe the aspects of 5e that do need to be cleaned up a little bit or they're explained a little better, or you get a few more tools. Hopefully better art, because I would do the art for that, obviously. You know, and have something that is an alternative to 2024 that's like still compatible in a better way to previous 2014 stuff as well. So like if you wanted to run Lost Mines of Phandelver with it, you could more easily do that. Then I think you probably could still do it with 2024, but I think there's probably going to still be problems with it.
Well, and I've always low-key wanted to redo my 5e modern book, because it was my first book. It's very rough around the edges, in my opinion. You know, I've learned a lot since then. So I was like, I might as well, you know, wait until we have this 5e clone finished, so I can attach it to that and have a lot more freedom.
So yeah, these are all things that are being worked on or have been worked on. I've made some progress with 5e. There's actually a lot done with it, but I think I need to revisit it and sort of make some edits to it, because that's why I brought Vic on board, because it was sort of like I'm getting lost in the weeds here, and Vic knows 5e better than me, and so he can kind of like keep me in check about like, that's John, that's just because Vic, I kind of come to his side now too. I wanted to remove subclasses, but Vic is sort of, I think you have convinced me that like that's just part and parcel of 5e. Like whether I like that or not, like that needs to be there. So,
that was one of the things I disagreed with you on right away. But I was like, yeah, you know, it's your game, you do whatever you want. But I
thought about it, and I'm like,
that,
I thought about it, and I'm like, but he's right. I think because it's
an expected part of 5e. It's technically optional, but nobody I've ever known like treats it as optional.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I never.
Yeah.
When I ran 5e, I used subclasses. So
yeah. Like most people that play probably don't even realize that the book technically says they're optional. Same with feats. People don't realize those are optional either a lot of times. They're just such a core part of the game, like, you know.
I think it's because of where they're placed.
Yeah.
In the books, but yeah, that's something that we want to work on. But it's obviously just finding time to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously I still need to work on the Conquistador thing for Mokuhito as well. Which
I mean, we got time, dude. You know, unless one of us just randomly keels over, like God forbid, but but like next year I want to like do Streets of Magic, obviously, like, you know, so
yeah, which you're making a lot of. I like the layout, and you're making a lot of
thank you,
progress on that. Let's see here. $52,579. I'm sure people are adjusting there. Oh no, 614. It just randomly.
Well, at this point they should not be able to cancel, so that's good at least. Speaking of being cancelled, what's up, Greg?
What's up, nerds?
Not much. Just
How's
chilling,
it going,
just
Greg?
cooling.
I'm trying to keep from like coughing right now.
Yeah, cough away, dude.
Yeah.
Fine. It's your stream. No, if anyone doesn't like it, we'll just fucking ban them. It's fine.
What's up, Greg? How are you doing?
Good. I'm crunching ice right now.
Nice.
Yeah, what I'm excited about too, I guess, is like it was funny that Backer Kit, I wanted to work with them on marketing. And they told me like we can't touch you unless you've done a campaign that's like 50K or more. And it's like, well, look, I did it.
Yeah.
You could work with me for future projects.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You're right, actually, yeah. The next time you can just be like, hey guys, this was my last Kickstarter. Can you guys help me?
Yeah. So it's kind of like that extra. I'm like I said, I'm super grateful because that I was able that this was able to be so successful, because like I really needed a W. I really want to work. If I can be candid and give my goals here, it's not like I want to make tons of money for the sake of making tons of money, but really like it's been on my mind and on my heart lately to really make it so that my wife doesn't have to work. Yeah. I wanted to make it so that she can stay home with our daughter and homeschool. But right now, like we both have to work, just like many couples in this economy. You know, you can't support a family on just one income. So I wanted to make that happen, and I feel like I needed a big W, a big like indicator of like, hey, this is possible and you can do it. And man, it's been a hard grind for like the last, when did I start my channel? In 2020. So it's been a hard grind for 5 years to get to this point. And then even beyond that, you know, I was doing freelance art since 2015. So it's been 10 years of grinding at this as either a full-time or part-time thing. And so to finally grind at this and make it happen is like,
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do without everyone here, but
they say it takes about 10 years to find success. So, you know,
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, people use like Kelsey a lot as an example. It's like, oh, she came out of nowhere and she made like millions. It's like she didn't come out of nowhere. She'd been grinding like adventure writing and stuff for like however long, like, you know.
I know she was like living with her parents and you know, was just sort of trying to figure it out, you know.
Yeah, she was putting together Shadow Dog. She was putting that together like piecemeal, basically, just like buying art when she could afford it and stuff. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money either. Like,
sure,
you know, like, especially when you see like projects like some RPG project will come out on Kickstarter. It's all AI art. It's obvious like AI writing, and it makes like $26,000. And like meanwhile, you're writing like, you know, this custom like homemade thing. Like you've done everything yourself, and you make like a fraction of that. It's frustrating. Like it sucks.
And it's not necessarily like that person that's doing that campaign's fault that they're pushing AI slop. They're putting AI slop out there because there's people that are willing to buy that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, unfortunately, that's the way it is. But I am not a black pill individual. I think all three of us here are making cool stuff. And I think that it just takes that grind, you know, it just takes the mileage. It just takes the time and the dedication and the perseverance, and to be retardedly stubborn on some things, you know?
Yeah.
Because there was moments where like through a lot of what I've done where, you know, there was some rough months where, you know, sales weren't that great. I wasn't getting freelance work. And it's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
You know,
I've had those moments, especially doing all the drama we've had to deal with the last couple of years.
That too.
Like, I was like, why am I putting myself through this? I wish I was still like anonymous, just playing video games.
Like the thought in my mind, because like before I was, I guess, a public figure in this hobby, I was just like a blue collar worker working on, you know, RV trailers, doing like the lithium and battery systems and plumbing and electrical, you know, and then coming home and playing games with buddies and, you know, doing my own thing. And part of me is sort of like, man, it'd be so easy just to go back to doing that. But I'm really passionate about this stuff, obviously. So it's like, I want to make this kind of stuff happen. It's important to me. And if I could support my family doing this, like that's all the better. Like that's the dream, right? You know, but you have to do something to make people want to support that dream, which means that you have to make something that people want to show up for. And so I'm super grateful that people want to show up at this point for what I'm doing. It's
definitely
very humbling, very, very, very grateful, very blessed, I feel like.
Ultimately, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
I think a lot of the AI slop that shows up on Kickstarter has a major fear of missing out component to it. Like people will buy it, like, and be excited about buying it just because they want to buy something, and then they'll never like touch it. They'll never play it. They'll never like do anything with it.
Well, it's also just normies that see like this cool like AI picture of like a goblin with like a sword.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that looks cool, and yeah.
And it's a bunch of AI slop that they could have asked. They could have asked Grok to generate for them instead of paying someone to ask Grok to generate it for them.
Well, whatever. Like ultimately, you know, I'm a capitalist. Like I don't begrudge people making the money. If you can make $26,000 putting out like an AI adventure, more power to you. But it is very frustrating when, you know, you're over there like working for like 2 years on something like custom made, and then, you know, you put it out there and it makes like 2,000.
Hatless Ass says, the unfortunate reality is most are cognitively, I don't know if you missed a word there, another descriptive or noun or something. And games that pander to the average person will be the most successful ones. I think that there is some truth to that, but I think even the games, like what I'm trying to do with Wight-Box, you know, is I'm trying to make 0E more accessible and understandable. At least the variant that I, you know, what I'm doing is I'm pretending it's 1974. I've said this many times, but I'll say it again. It's 1974. I bought the 3 LBBs. I have chainmail. How would I cognitively challenge? There you go. It's 1974. I bought the 3 LBBs. I bought chainmail. How would I run this? And so Wight-Box is me explaining to the reader, like, this is how I would do it. You know, this is me restating the rules in a hopefully cohesive way of, this is how I would do it. I'm going to explain it to you in plain English, without a lot of the assumptions that you have wargaming knowledge or, you know, you have to, because chainmail is a pretty hard book to understand. And so trying to expect everyone to challenge themselves to look through chainmail, like I struggle with it, you know, and not that I think I'm a really smart guy. I don't think I'm super duper smart, but I'm into this hobby. I want to learn. I want to delve into these things. And it was rough for me. I needed help of friends like Crossface and a lot of other guys on the Guilded server to sort of check me and give feedback and suggestions and explain things to me. Like Crossface explaining fighting capability to me is what made it like that click for me. So my goal with Wight-Box is like, I want the average person to check it out and to be able to play it and have fun with it still, you know, but at the same time, it will raise them, I hope, to a higher level of understanding and gaming as well, if that makes sense. Not that it's like this high and mighty philosophical religious experience, just that like you can kind of go. My whole thing is I really want to provide at my channel and with my content and what I do, something that's a little different and counter to the conventional wisdom that's out there, because I find the conventional wisdom to be pretty crappy, pretty awful. And I want to, I want to offer another perspective where you can go, hey, it can be more, you can do this. It can be deeper. It can be more interesting. It can be more philosophical. It can be more mythical. It can mean more, you know, and I kind of want to offer that.
I'm not a big fan of the prevailing Rule Zero narrative that's out there. Like, I disagree with it pretty strongly.
And it's like all so assumed, you know. We talk a lot about, like, not to bring it up again, but like the whole, there's no wrong way to play. And then you're like, oh, cool. Like, I like to play rules as written, at least for the start, to figure something out. And you get like, you know, you get like this vitriolic response. And I was like, well, hold on a minute. I thought you said there's no wrong way to play. I guess what you really mean is there's no wrong way to play so long as it's how you play, or aligned or compatible with what you, anything that's not compatible with what you think is good is bad. And I notice this a lot with people that kind of are in the conventional wisdoms sphere of the hobby, and when they give advice, they give a lot of oughts and shoulds as to like how they think the game should be ran.
Yeah.
You should give your players some plot motivations. You ought to respect your players' backstory. You ought. And these same people that say there's no wrong way to play, and then will get vitriolic at you for having a different way of playing, will make a lot of these normative universal claims. And it's sort of like, well, why do you get to make those ought and should claims and I can't? So for me here at this channel is sort of just like, well, let's just do it. Let's just make a bunch of ought and should claims. And if the other side that's doing the same thing spurgs out, that's on them,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in the one of your more recent videos about that topic. It's like people were kind of scared of this idea of elitism, or like a higher level of play, or just like an above average intelligence required to appreciate something. Because if you have an elite game, it kind of instills this fear that it's going to expose them as being the losers that they are, because they can't get it, they can't play it, they don't understand it, or whatever. And I see that in like the video game world right now with like Silk Song, which is like game of the year, super popular, made millions of dollars, but it's like, that's an elite game. It's the developers made it to not cater to the lowest common denominator at all. It's like super fucking hard game, and like and people are complaining about how hard it is and how difficult it is, and they can't get it, and they have skill problems with it, and the developers are like, oh, sorry man, buy a different game. Like,
it's like Sekiro and like those games too.
Yeah, Dark Souls. Dark Souls is really popular, and that's a hard game.
Yeah, like Elden Ring, like recently.
I think Elden Ring's probably a little easier than the Souls.
Yeah,
games.
because you can roam around and kind of prepare for a boss.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely still harder than a lot of other things.
Yeah,
and you said like what you said, Greg, where a lot of people kind of fear being challenged because they fear being perceived as like dumb or stupid or idiotic. That's not my intention at all. I might give some like inflammatory language at times just for like the lulz and the meme, but I'm like specifically speaking to that person though. Like, I believe in you. I think that you can raise your game to a higher level than what you're currently doing, and I encourage you to do that. And I believe in you. I think you can do it. It's just that like you don't want to do it, but I want you to. I think that you can and you should. But my intention isn't to make you feel dumb. But I think a lot of people's perceptions about the hobby are really tied to their personality. Yeah. Like they make the way they run their games an aspect of their personality, which you shouldn't do. Yeah. You should not do that. But they do. And so I think they just sort of, especially if I'm honest, they're the 40 years guys, they've had 40, 50 years to make it part of their personality. And so when they hear that someone is doing it differently or has a different ought or a different should claim, they sort of take it as a personal attack, even though that's not the intention of the claim being made. You are not D&D. You are not even how you run your games. That's not you. So it's not an attack on you, but people still perceive that as such.
Well, we're not even as zealous about our opinions as people think. Like, I think people just hear through the grapevine about stuff we said, and then they're like, oh, well, John and Vic, they think that you should, like, zero prep and stuff. Like, no, we never said that. We gave it as an option. It's like, hey, guys, this is cool. Like, try it. You can even combine it with prep. You can, like, do all sorts of cool things with it. But, just give it a shot. Like, that's basically always been, like, how we talk to people. And then, like, it turns into this whole, like, oh, these fucking cultists, these zero prep cultists.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what we are at all.
I'm zealous.
Yeah.
I ran my entire campaign for that mecha game on like completely bashing and attacking Lancer and Lancer players. I'm like, Lancer sucks. It's fucking garbage. Like, play this game. Like, I'm not afraid of that. Like,
I'm not either. But at the same time, I'm just sort of like, I guess I'm just choosing my battles a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think as of late, like I've really I've kind of grown weary of. I go through these phases where I get really weary of social media, and I get weary of reply guys, and I get weary of like looking in the comment section and going, it's that same comment over and over again, which I've addressed or refuted or and so you just sort of like, whatever, I'm just ignoring that. But I think like partly, like, I was just describing this adventure that I'm writing for Wight-Box. It'll be the first one. And, I think for me, what I'd rather do is do the show, don't tell. And I'm hoping that like this Wight-Box adventure, for example, will kind of show as kind of like what Shane Winters said in the chat, like as a teaching point, as like a teaching module of, hey, I'm going to kind of like hold your hand and guide you and teach you. I have some things prepped and set up for you to riff on, but I'm also giving you a lot of holes in that. Like it's kind of bare bones in areas, but in those bare bone areas, rather than that being a problem, that's a feature, not a bug. I'm going to give you these other tools to sort of generate content for those areas in the adventure, and then thus teach you how to run the kind of game that I like to run, right? And the kind of game that I think Wight-Box should be. And I think that way of writing modules has kind of been lost with a lot of modern adventures, at least in a lot of mainstream games. A lot of them really are just sort of like, here's an adventure path, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, which I get it. Like, people enjoy that kind of stuff. It's fun. I played in those kinds of games. It's fun. If you're able to just like get involved in it and go along with it, it's fun. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But I'm just trying to give like an alternative way of teaching how to run these games.
Yeah.
I should catch up with chat here. Is today the last day to back? You just missed it, but late pledges are still going. I'm going to have late pledges for the box set going probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Like I said, it's going to be, I think it's $10 more now, because the people that got in during the campaign obviously get it at a better price, but you can still get the box set at a higher price if you wish. Like I said, the print on demand books and the PDF will be available for probably indefinitely on the Kickstarter as late pledges. Well, here you go. I would buy a Reconquista game as soon as it hits the printer. There you go.
Yeah, well, if you do the basic system, John can handle all the cool historical settings, and I'll do like all the weird, like modern, post-apocalyptic, cyberpunk shit.
Yeah, there you go. And part of me's been kind of thinking like it'd be kind of fun to port Atomic Punk over into
not,
it, to do a version of it like that, to have
I could do Streets of Magic or something, like, who knows?
Yeah. Hatless Ash says, I hope your game gets a lot of traction because I want more people to play Zero E. I want more people to play Zero E with. I agree. I want more people to try Zero E. I think Zero E is a really elegant system, and this is why I wanted to make this clone. And I said multiple times I don't really want to make a clone. And then I started reading Zero E with Chainmail, and I'm like, there's some crunch here. There's some real oomph to this game. It's got a lot of meat on its bones, more meat than people like would believe. And so the point of Wight-Box is to try and show that.
Yeah. Well, you said something earlier, and I wanted to comment on it, Dan, but you mentioned about like chainmail is like, kind of hard to understand and stuff. And I personally think that's like a big part of why people even now are saying like, oh, well, you don't need chainmail for Zero E. I think ultimately that's just cope. That's just cope for the fact that they didn't understand it, and they then just dismissed it because they didn't understand it, and they turned it into like, you don't need it, like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think well, as I said, it's like they've assumed they've made their way of running whatever edition a part of their personality.
Yeah.
And so if you even if you're not attacking how they play, if you just express a different ought or should claim on how you should run elf game, they take it personally. It becomes a personal attack because you are advocating for something that they don't do, and so they interpret that as I'm wrong. And maybe you are wrong. I don't know. But like, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's not that big a deal. Critical Dom says the basic expert moral logic stream when, and Hatless Ash says he would watch. I read a lot of philosophy, but I feel very like I don't know a lot of the. You're the one with a degree, I think, Dom. So I wouldn't know the terminology quite as well. I sort of intuit a lot of philosophy. I mean, I read a lot, but I'm not an academic. So
I'm a brain damaged Dutchman. Don't come to me for logic.
I do love philosophy and stuff like that, and theology and debating that kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm very much more of like a layman, or I intuit a lot more, which has its benefits and has its pluses, has its minuses. So thank you, Travis. Travis has he's got Full Metal Tilt coming out soon, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is like jousting rules for Dragon Slayer. But ultimately, I think it would be compatible with Wight-Box. And I think he's even said he wants to do a variant that would be compatible with Wight-Box in the future. So it's called Full Metal Tilt. So check that out. I think he has the pre-launch page up.
Yeah.
Want to help my friends out here. I don't want to pull up the ladder.
Travis is always retweeting me and stuff, so thank you, Travis.
Let's see. What am I?
Nice.
I think it's my following here. Oh, I logged into the wrong Kickstarter account. I have my old one that I never use. I want this one. There we go.
Oh crap, my credit card's about to be charged. No. Cancel pledge. Cancel pledge.
I have a prepaid credit card, and I didn't have enough money on it, so I need to throw some cash on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess over there, they give anyone a credit card willy-nilly, but over here, they don't. So I had to get a prepaid one because I don't technically make enough for a normal credit card because I'm a poor boy.
Let me throw it in here. There's that, and I'm trying to put it in X and on there. So check this out here. He has a cool thing going, and then actually I should say too. I think Yang Yang Zhao's Kickstarter is coming soon as well.
Yeah.
I think he's launching soon, so I want to plug him as well. I'll put this on X as well. Let's see. So this is Yang Yang Zhao's Kickstarter for he has a 1E5E campaign setting that he's doing. So if you want to back that, check that out. He was on stream. Yeah, he was on stream a couple weeks ago.
Was it? Yeah, a couple weeks or last week? Can't remember.
I can't remember.
Did we stream last week? I don't think we did. I don't know.
I was in the midst of sickness still.
Yeah.
So
down with the sickness.
Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna do the ooh ah because I'll but make sure you guys check out those things. Check out those Kickstarters there.
Yeah, definitely. Got to support each other in this hobby, except for some people. Fuck them. But
Well, I said on whose stream was I on? I was on Jack's in an interview I did with Castle Grief. Castle Grief was another cool guy on X. You can follow. Just search for Castle Grief, and he has a Substack too. I should share the Substack if you guys are interested in that. If you want to see an interview, a written interview I did right here. He does a lot of really cool, like he does like hand-drawn style books. So like a lot of the art and the writing and the stuff that he does all himself, and he does it on these big like 11 by 17 pages. And then he does like pen and ink and then like watercolor, and they're really cool. And it's like a whole campaign setting that he's working on for 0E, and it's really cool stuff. So check that out. But he did a written interview with me where he asked me some questions about Wight-Box. So if you're interested in that, it's on this link here, and check out his stuff too. He has his own box set that he's doing for all his 0E stuff, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going to that, but just that I think like with you guys, like I'm grateful that I'm your guys' friends, and that I'm really thankful that there's a lot of like ne'er-do-wells and goblins in this hobby, ankle biting crabs in a bucket type losers in this hobby. And I've probably spent way too much time, like I realize, especially with this Kickstarter, you spend too much time like focusing on these crabs in a bucket, on these ankle biters, and it's kind of you can't help it because they're biting your ankles and you feel that, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool people like you guys,
Mm-hmm.
Castle Grief, Travis here, Yang Yang Zhao, lots of other creators out there doing neat stuff with neat ideas, making cool stuff, and I'm glad that they're my friends. I'm really hopeful for the way the hobby is going to go. I know some people maybe aren't, especially I feel like the 5e people, for some reason they feel like if 2024 collapses or WotC drops the ball, like all of the hobby's in danger. And maybe it's just a course correction that needs to happen, because I think that what I see, it's not just me, but like a lot of people are making cool stuff and trying to be creative and trying to make neat, I don't know what to say, like handmade awesome stuff that's unique and interesting, and stuff that like no one else wants to touch. None of those big publishers want to take a risk on,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like ultimately doing this changed my life for the better. Like before I started doing this, I was just sitting here like depressed, doing nothing, because I've been on disability since I was like 18, or like in my early 20s technically. So I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's all the ankle biters. It's really annoying. We've dealt with a lot of drama, just the two of us in particular, like more than some, I think. But there's also just a lot of cool people that we've met and befriended. So, and it's easy to lose track of that, because I don't know, negativity is a stronger emotion, I think.
Yeah.
At least in the moment.
When things are good, you're like, well, this should be baseline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, when things are good, when people are cool, you're like, this should be baseline. So when you have negative emotions and you have negative experiences, it's sort of like when you have when more people are more likely to write negative reviews for places than they are positive, because
exactly.
Which for me is one reason why I try and write positive reviews when I go to like restaurants, and I genuinely have like a good positive experience there, because it's sort of like there's going to be more people there that they have that negative experience and are more likely to have and write a negative review.
Yeah.
I think we experience it with our books, like it's hard to get people to get on DriveThruRPG and go like, hey, review our books.
Impossible. I've asked like outright like multiple times, and people that I know have bought my books will like the post and stuff, and then still don't. They still don't leave a rating or a review, and I'm like, okay, well, thanks for pushing me.
So to me, it's important to leave positive feedback, and
I
guess what I'm trying to say is like the villain arc was fun. I have RPG villain there, and I'll probably still jokingly keep that as a moniker, but I'm gonna. I really want to try and focus. I really feel like I'm at a point where I don't have the bandwidth to focus on the ankle biting and stuff like that.
I think it was a needed reaction for at least a little while to all the stuff that was happening, and I think it was needed also in the way that to show people that the pushover, that they can just fucking go and like bully you.
Yeah.
Because I even like. I've got this reputation on X that I'm like, very chill and like cool and nice. But even I go off occasionally. Sometimes it just builds up and you just have to like flex real quick. But I don't know. I wanted to say something before that, and now I can't remember what it was.
I'm just double checking the Kickstarter. I have some messages I'm gonna have to respond to, probably. Oh well. I agree with Travis here. I feel like we're in the golden age in the hobby the way things are going right now. I think that's true. I sometimes like, for instance, Dungeons and Discourses, but I feel like she is so focused on, for some reason, and I see a lot of people that I guess come from the 5e space that feel this way. And maybe I'm wrong in this regard, but I don't think I am, but I'll admit that maybe I am. There's a potential there. I'm not infallible. But like, she sees things going wrong with WotC. Like, she said things like, well, I want D&D to be successful. Like, kind of subtly even saying, like, even if I don't really play it anymore, because if D&D is successful, then things are going good in the hobby. And I just don't necessarily buy that. Like, look at the 90s. I know there's a lot of games that I don't like Vampire the Masquerade and stuff that came out during that time. But it was like an era where there was lots of interesting stuff happening in the 90s. Lots of experimentation with the hobby. And there was lots of people making stuff. And D&D wasn't necessarily top dog, or at least it was very much contested. So I don't know. I'm not as like worried about that, I guess. Like, in fact, I encourage like mainstream D&D to collapse and go away. I think it ultimately is. I think it'd be better for us indies and us other people doing stuff to try and have D&D, like, even if 2024 fails and Hasbro's like, put the IP on ice because you guys just keep botching it. I do think that, like, that might hurt for a little bit, but ultimately I think that it'd be better for the hobby in the long run if that happened, and it would be good for D&D. Honestly, it'd be good for D&D as a brand if something like that were to happen, in my opinion. So I do think we're in a golden age, because I think that a lot of people now that would be married to 5e D&D or whatever game are sort of going like, there's this like wider world of creators and games out there. I know that, like, this, what I'm doing here with Wight-Box is roughly a D20 game, but it's old school. It's going to challenge you in ways that 5e is not going to challenge you. And so the fact that I was able to make, what am I at, $52,614 so far on this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
As a small indie creator with a channel with, like, I don't even have 7K subs yet, like, that's huge. It shows that people are, like, trying to look beyond maybe what they're comfortable with and look to new stuff. And I think that's what makes it a golden age. People are going to try new things.
Yeah. I think there's like this impression that if core D&D, if like WotC D&D isn't around, that people are just going to drift away completely. And to a big degree, that is true with 5e, especially because like during the COVID era and like the critical role, like popularity, a lot of like the normies came in that only really cared about that. They don't really care about the hobby in general. But I also think there are enough people that it's like, well, D&D is shit now. I'm gonna check out Shadowdog. Like, just look at Shadowdog's popularity. I think the proof's in the pudding. But like, you get what I'm saying. Like, I think there's gonna be enough people that are just gonna like, it's like, well, I don't like D&D anymore, but I'm just gonna like shop around, see what else is cool, and then it's like, oh, I discovered this game and I discovered this game. And also, I remember like the late 90s and early 2000s, and this is purely anecdotal, obviously, but back then, like, all the cool kids in my experience were playing like Shadowrun. They were playing like Vampire and stuff, and D&D, like second edition, first edition. Those were considered like the boomer games. Like, that was like like, oh, those fat gray bearded guys over there are playing that. We're like cool hot goth guys. We're like playing Vampire, like, So speaking of cool hot goth guys, what's up, Dunder Moose?
Yeah, what's up, Dunder? Welcome. Nolzy, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, man. Apologies, not trying to. But they need to put a lot of things on ice for now, like Star Wars. I'm glad there isn't a new Star Wars DTRPG out yet, because the material they have to work with is utter trash. Well, I mean, this is the thing where I think why this idea that, like, if the mainstream brand collapses, it's all of a sudden like the end of the world. And look at like Star Wars. You still have the expanded universe. You still have the original trilogy. and I, I have a much greater appreciation now for the prequel trilogy now than I did when it first came out, just based on the quality of the Disney stuff that's come out. Where I appreciate the prequel trilogy a lot more now. I don't think it's still as great and as good as like the original trilogy, but it's better than what we're getting for a lot of new Star Wars.
Well, not to completely derail the fucking subject from TTRPGs, but I've talked with my friend about this at length. The prequels weren't great, but the setting spawned a lot of extended universe stuff, like that whole Clone Wars setting. That was such like fresh, like interesting new ground to a lot of people that they that spun off into all this other stuff, and that proved at least its popularity in that regard. The sequels, they don't have that. Nobody is like, I'm gonna take this whole new order, like First Order thing, and I'm gonna do this with this. Nobody gives a shit about that whole series in general. Well,
my point though is that like if Star Wars has collapsed at this point, no one's really interested in it. But the thing is, the old expanded universe novels are out there, the old comics are out there, the old video games are out there. You can go get them on Steam.
Yeah.
So you can go play those old games and experience those old stories, which are significantly better. Like you don't have to accept the new Disney canon.
There's actually a free, it's fan made and it's completely free. There is a 5e Star Wars game floating out there that you can find online, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that. But I make that comparison because look at like D&D. Like if D&D collapses, if 2024 D&D collapses and WotC collapses and Hasbro collapses and nobody's making D&D anymore, or it's put on ice, like we still can get, we can still get the 1E books, we can still get the PDFs, we can still play the clones of all those original rule sets. You can go get old school essentials and play BX. You can get Wight-Box and play 0E. So like it's not like it's gonna go away. If anything, like it's gonna direct people towards probably better stuff.
I think the OSR is entrenched enough now that people will just mind that.
So in my view, the people that are concerned about, well, we have to have this 800-pound gorilla because everything's resting on its shoulders. I don't necessarily believe everything is, or that it has to. Maybe it is, and maybe if that 800-pound gorilla is killed and falls over and drops whatever it's holding, the entire hobby, it's gonna hurt because you're falling, hitting the ground. But like that's not the end of it,
Yeah.
So, I think that if we can get people into the indie scene to check out indie content, I think there's going to be more longevity and more interest in there longer, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be more sustainable, at least. I think what WotC's discovered and a lot of these people have discovered is that like their business model is not sustainable. It's why like they hired Microsoft CEOs who want to input microtransactions and then end up bailing. Like what happened to that virtual tabletop? They totally fired everyone for the 5e virtual tabletop and sunk the whole thing. Is it even still available? I don't even know.
I
don't even know if you can use it. So I don't think that we need to worry about a collapse so much. I'm hopeful for the future of the hobby.
Yeah, and the OSR in general is also evolving, I think, in a good way.
I hope so. I don't use the term OSR for a lot of what I do, even though what I do obviously technically is like Wight-Box is an OSR game. But I think it's kind of I do think that I do hope for a shift or a change in the hobby. It seems like not to name names, but I think there's a generational shift that's happening within it.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to get at. Yeah,
a lot of the old guard. I think like they got mad at Kelsey because she's like again this apparent newcomer, and I think they get mad at us too because like we're these apparent newcomers that are like making stuff and finding success, and sometimes success that a lot of the old creators never had or couldn't get.
Yeah.
And so not that it's jealousy, but I think it's just I think it's just that mentality of like this was our thing, and it's being taken away from us. So I think that's where like there's sort of this ideological split within the OSR to some degree. But I mean, that torch has to be passed at some point. You know, at some point, we'll have to pass the torch to some like Gen Alpha kid that plays Fortnite and do his floss dances. You know, like we'll
and then we're probably going to be mad at them. So,
So we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was just like certain people were just kind of like sitting on the laurels. You know, the OSR has been, how old is the OSR now? Like 15, 20, like something like that, 15 years. Like, I don't know.
It's probably been almost 20 at this point.
Yeah. So they've been kind of just sitting on the laurels. They were like the first dudes that started doing this. You know, they got like the accolades and stuff. They're just like putting out their books. But now there's like, you know, all these like hungry, like younger people like coming in, like, and I don't know. And they're doing like slightly different stuff. They're like, you know, they're experimenting with more stuff. I've noticed also that a lot of like those old guards, like they just do the writing, for example, and they just give the layout and all that other stuff. They hand that off to other people. But guys like us, we do most everything ourselves. You especially, because you can do the art. I'm hoping to learn the art again, but I don't do the art. But everything else, like I do the layout, I do the editing, like do everything like pretty much by myself. And I think that also kind of gives us an advantage over a lot of those the older guard who, you know, I'm not going to name names, but there are some people that don't even want to learn layout. They get like mad when somebody sends them a video. It's like, hey, this is how you use Affinity, like, you know. So
yeah, you know, I it's not just like the design aesthetics or the mentality within the hobbies changed, but the way of marketing yourself and product creation has changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Drastically in the last 15 to 20 years of the hobby, especially in the indie space. So like you look at what like we do, like I look at Greg's book, like the Titans of Fallen Earth, and you look at Greg's layout in there, and his book, in my opinion, looks just as good as better than a lot of like what a big, more standard old school publishing house would put out for an RPG book.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show like there's a lot of maybe bloat and glut in the hobby. And one thing I can say, because I've been in this hobby for a long time, not just like I've been in it as an artist and working with various companies. I've worked with a lot of bigger companies. I've not worked with WotC for art, but I've worked with Chaosium. I've worked with Green Ronin. I've worked with Mongoose Publishing. And we sort of view these people as like these big companies, like they're competing with Wizards of the Coast, you know? And it's like, nah, these people are like, this is like a small team, probably like in a small rented office somewhere. And they're barely being able to pay their workers a wage, and they're barely probably making rent on the office space they're renting for their business, you know? And so to me, and I think you and Greg, like we look at that situation and go like, this isn't sustainable. We have to like pivot here. Like if we can get by with less, then we should do that.
I think that whole like actually have an office and like a physical team and all that stuff, I think that's kind of like old fashioned now.
Yeah, there's like this idea that you need to like pitch your game, for example, to a company to get it published or something like that. Like I don't even think they even do that anymore. I think you're better off just like doing it yourself as best you can. And if it gets accolades, like for instance, in this instance, like let's say like you and me or whoever, we get like so successful where someone like a Wizards of the Coast or someone like a Chaosium is sort of like, we want to hire you for a project. Well, there you go. Then your work is going to get in these big name studios, but publishers. But I don't think the method of trying to like pitch your thing to someone to get, that's how you get in, for example, that was the old way. And the new way is like, you just got to do it yourself.
Yeah. So just put it out there and, you know, do a Kickstarter or a backer kit or whatever.
Yeah. I've tried to pitch my shit to companies before and they just ghosted me. It's annoying. There's this game company, I told you guys, who made that Tales of Iron video game, which is on PS4 and like PC. It's like a Souls-like video game where you play as like rats. Okay, so it's like perfect for me because I already have a book about that. So I actually had a conference call with the guy, and we got on a Zoom call, which was annoying. And like, he didn't know what an RPG was, and I was like explaining how we could like take his brand and make like a tabletop RPG, and we could even make it 5th edition if that's what he wanted to do. And he's like, "Oh, okay, that sounds like a good idea. How much would that cost? Is 80,000 enough?" I'm like, "Yep, 80,000's enough." And then they just disappeared off the face of the earth and decided not to like.
Damn.
I don't know if they were scared off or they didn't know what they were getting into or what, but it's very hard to pitch anything to people these days.
Yeah, I have no idea how Evil Genius does it. The fucking what's the game called?
Everyday Heroes.
Everyday Heroes. Yeah, like I have no idea how they do it. Like I've talked to the guy, but like they have got all these cool licenses. Like they're I'm probably not supposed to say it, but they, I'm not going to say the name, but they're having like a cool like actual like sci-fi like licensed game coming up. But like I have no idea how they manage like Highlander, fucking Rambo, like the Crow. It's like, how do you even like approach companies like that?
Well, I think it's just having some business sense, and I think that's something you have to learn too. I think that's why a lot of people, like some of the old guard, got mad at Kelsey because she came in with some business savvy sort of marketing,
Yeah.
Because look at Kelsey. Like if Kelsey, I think, wanted to sit down and talk to MGM Grand or something like that, and pitched an idea for one of the IPs, or like, any other big studio, Lionsgate or something like that. Let's do a game about X. Like they might actually give her an ear because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you've done some Kickstarters that have done millions of dollars, so for pen and paper role playing games, which is like nuts,
Yeah.
So, but I don't even know if that's really the route that one needs to go. I think that original content is ultimately going to be better in a lot of respects than trying to pitch like licensed content to big name companies, because I think people really want original stuff right now. I think like movies are kind of like look at Marvel movies. No one cares about Marvel anymore. No one cares about Star Wars anymore. No one even cares about Lord of the Rings anymore. Like the failure of the Rings of Power, which was their own doing. That could have been great, but it was their own doing. Or that animated movie that I had high hopes for, and then they totally dropped the ball on that too. It was total like lame cash grab. Like nobody's interested in that anymore at this point. It's like I think people just want some interesting, unique stuff in all aspects, in all fields, on all media, including our sphere here in tabletop role playing games and pen and paper RPGs. People want original ideas. They want original stuff, and you just have to have a good idea that can do it. that appeals to that.
Yeah, ultimately, I'd rather work on my own stuff than like a licensed product, because I want to be able to go my own way. I don't want to be constrained by somebody else's vision, and then you don't have the mojo, like, and then you're just struggling. That's also why I would rather keep working for myself rather than just be like all of a sudden the Chaosium emails me. He's like, "Hey Vic, you want to like work for us?" And then I have like deadlines and like all this shit. No, I want to just like be able to take off a month and like play video games while I recharge my creativity, So
or switch gears. Like I do that a lot.
Exactly. Yeah,
I do that a lot on my projects where it's like I'm working on, maybe I'll work on the 5e thing for a little bit, and it's like I need to switch gears to like the universal basic system, or like I want to work on this other thing, I want to work on this adventure, I want to work on a zine.
Yeah.
So it's like you're able to sort of eventually something gets done and you can sell it, but like because you're an indie creator and you can pivot and adapt and move in ways that a big company like even Chaosium or especially Wizards of the Coast can't do, And then also the content that you can make. Like I always use Makuhito as an example. Like if I were to try and pitch Makuhito to any publisher, they would have said no. They would have wanted me to round off all the hard edges of that. No, you can't let people advance by taking slaves or getting sacrifice victims. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yes, I can. Look, I did it. So it's not like that. That was very niche and didn't make as much money, for example, as like Wight-Box did. But the point still stands, is like, I think that the indies need to lean into that, because they're able to do things that a lot of these companies don't want to touch. And but I think people are glad that those things do exist, you know.
Yeah, I wanna put forward my own vision, and not like a vision by committee. Like, I would hate to have like this cool setting and then have to pass it off to like a company, and they're in charge of like the art direction or something. And then it's like, and I'm like just low key thinking like, this art sucks. Like, it's not at all what I envisioned. Why does everyone have a side cut?
Yeah, like you'd present them with like 3 or 4 different artists that you've worked with, and like, these guys are a good fit. And then be like, you know what? We could save a lot of money if we go with Mid-Journey. And you're like, no.
Yeah, or like, you know, some Tumblr artists, and all of a sudden they've got like dwarves with matching tattoos in my game.
Yeah.
Like making cupcakes.
Cocow69 says, according to you guys, what is the best way to advertise your stuff online outside of YouTube? That's hard outside of YouTube, because I think that me having a YouTube, like even a small YouTube channel like this, was very beneficial towards getting the word out about it. Like, it created a lot of grassroots buzz for Wight-Box. But I don't know. I'll let you go first, Vic, because
X has always been good to me. Going on different Discords, like the Shadow Dog Discord and like all that stuff, and just shilling your stuff there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think here. I've always had like decent success with like forums, like EN World and like stuff like that. Facebook ads kind of suck. Google is alright if you do like a YouTube trailer or something. Like, I don't know, I just kind of like muddle around and then somehow find success.
Shit, I'll buy an ad in Sursova magazine, but I think they unfollowed me for some reason.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at
for $1.
I'm looking at my statistics for my current campaign, and email automated project launched followers. So that was people that that signed up for pre-launch. That gave me the most of my pledge, and then direct traffic, and then after that, just the discovery landing page on Kickstarter, and then 4th place is X, formerly Twitter. So just me like posting on that. I think I did a single promotion of the video trailer for Wight-Box on X, and then after that is just google.com, and then YouTube is after that.
Also, so good.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think I don't think we can discount I don't think we can discount YouTube. I know you said outside of YouTube, but like, I think
YouTube is big.
YouTube is big, and that's like super critical. Like, if I didn't have this platform to sort of shout from, I wouldn't have been able to direct very much organic traffic. Because I did try
going on streams.
Yeah, going on other people's streams, doing interviews about your thing, like, that's just so critical, in my opinion. I don't think you can ignore that. Like, I wouldn't. I'm looking at my metrics right now, and this wouldn't have been successful without YouTube. As I'm looking at it.
For Blacklight, my interview with Black Lodge Games was like the #2 source of backers. So there you go.
I'm looking at mine for Titans of Fallen Earth. My YouTube was actually #4. My typical YouTube model is to make a really cool trailer and then pay for a YouTube ad, and that works. It works. It's weird though, because my #1 is direct traffic, no refer information. Backer landed directly on the project page without any information, so I don't.
Well, they might have put you up like pretty high on the Kickstarter, like check out these products. Projects thing.
Yeah,
But it's taken years and years and years to build up like my X account into something that is actually usable. Like X is not something you just do overnight.
No.
That's like you've got to have a good following and like trustworthy fan base.
Also, I think you have to approach it kind of like naturally and just like be a cool dude to interact with people. Like I see a lot of people who treat X as like this brand that they have to build up, and they're very cynical about it, and then they complain when they fail. It's like, yeah, because everyone just sees through you. Everyone sees that you're not a genuine dude. You're just doing this to get engagement. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try and respond to like good replies and things like that. Like, hey, that's a good, you know, that's a good point, or whatever. Like if we're talking about games, that's a good point, or I'll take that into consideration. I didn't know that, you know, because then it shows that you're genuinely, because I genuinely do want to interact and talk about whatever it is that you're talking about, whatever it is your field is. But why I say YouTube is important, because so YouTube for me is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's number 6, but I'll say that I had like 500 something pre-launch signups, and the only way that I think I was able to do that was that people were going through YouTube and X to get to the pre-launch sign-up page, because I was talking about it. So I don't think that's what's bearing out in the statistics here. I'm looking at
what they mean by YouTube is number 6 is like you had a trailer on YouTube and it has a link in the description and people click on that. That's that number 6. It doesn't count you just appearing on streams and then somebody shares the link to the Kickstarter and then, you know.
Yeah, or to the pre-launch page, you know, and they signed up on the pre-launch page, and then they get the pre-launch email that, hey, it's gone live, go back it, and then they back it through that. So that doesn't count as YouTube. That counts as like the pre-launch page. But so that's what I'm saying. Like I think that YouTube is some sort of media like that. Like it's just so critical to this.
Another big thing that you can do, it does require having at least one Kickstarter already under your belt. But if you use the backer kit, like the email campaign option, you pay like $99 to add your current campaign to it. But that also gives you access to all your previous campaigns, and you basically can just like get all the backers from that into an email list. So like I've done like how many campaigns have I done so far? Like 3. So if I do my 4th one next year, I can add all the backers from those previous 3 campaigns. I can add them to a big email list and just like send them an email like, hey, my new campaign is out. Like this is going live. Check it out. And that's at this point that's like over 1,000 people. So like, you know, that's like a really good organic way to just build like a nice email list, and it just costs like $99 per campaign. So you pay that once, and then that whole campaign you can just keep sending emails for the pre-launch, for when it goes live, for like, you know, that whole month. So
thank you for your 2 Irish dollars, Dark Knight of Hibernia. Can't wait for Wight-Box. May use it for my own Zero project. I encourage you to do that. Like I said, I'm going to have hopefully a very generous, easy to use. I'm going to. I'm not going to say hopefully. I'm going to have a very easy to use license to use it, so you can put compatible with Wight-Box. Travis says John inspired me to pre-launch early, and YouTube doing interviews and or making a channel. Yeah, I mean, I think that like you can't look at YouTube as like this is going to be the thing that makes me money, or it's going to pay the bills. It's going to pay whatever. I'm going to be a big YouTuber. I'm going to make millions of dollars. Like that's just not probably going to happen. But if you're offering something like what we do, which is like, here's this game I'm making, here's this adventure I'm writing, here's this other thing that I'm doing, you get people focused on that. It becomes a platform for that. It becomes an advertising platform for that. So, you know, it becomes, it's not the primary thing, but it's the primary way of getting people to the primary thing that you're doing. So
yeah, I know a lot of people don't realize that YouTube does not give a shit about how many people click on your video, your whatever, your stream. They do not care about that. What they care about is how long they watch it. Like they base their entire algorithm on whether you've watched like a certain percentage, like 50% or 75% of the video, and that's how you get boosted and get into the algorithm or whatever, and more people end up getting a bigger audience. Like, you have to have people watch the whole video. They can't just click on it.
Yeah.
Cocow69, thanks for your insights. YouTube obviously is a game changer, but I wondered if you had other venues of aggregating traffic on your stuff. I don't. I really don't. Maybe X.
Holding people at gunpoint.
Yeah, mugging people. I go out at night, ski mask on, mugging people. Back Wight-Box or else.
Or else.
I would say X. Like, I think if you're unable to maybe get involved on YouTube, maybe you feel like I don't have a good voice, I don't have a good like personality for making videos or something like that. I think that if you can get on X and start building the following, like Greg was talking about, could be an alternative way to do it.
Yeah.
I think if you can do both X and YouTube though, it's gonna ultimately make it a lot easier to get your product, your voice, your vision out there to people and
Well,
people.
I'm grateful for you having me on as your like regular co-host. I'm grateful for everyone else who like has invited me to streams over the years. I used to be way more prolific as far as streaming goes, like the first few years even, but that actually did help me get my product out there and the word out there. I'm not sure I would have been nearly as successful without people wanting to chat with me.
And don't forget, you can also go to Blue Sky, just add a Ukraine flag, add a Palestinian flag to your bio, and you'll get plenty of upvotes.
I mean, that I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually true.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Also, I'm looking forward to Wight-Box license. What's up, Malachi? YouTube is an advertising platform. All social media are advertising platforms. Yeah, but I think like with X, I think you have to engage. You can't just be like, here's my product, go buy it. I think that you have to build up an organic. You are the brand, and the brand is you when you're on social media. As much as we want to like dislike that, I don't think that you can create necessarily. It's going to wear on you, and it's going to make you cynical, and it's going to make you angry if you try and set up a persona that is not you and trying to market that. I think that you end up becoming that persona. So ultimately, I think it's better to just be you as you are and be that on social media in a lot of respects. Maybe it's this heightened, like exaggerated version, but I think people sniff out authenticity and inauthenticity. So if you're marketing yourself and you're advertising what you're doing, but you're being inauthentic, it's not going to, people are going to sniff that out, I think, eventually. Dark Knight says he's considering using Rumble, but maybe use YouTube for its shorts. I would suggest using both, honestly. Like, my problem with Rumble, I know Patty's Parlor's on there, and he's had, I think, some decent success and growth on there. And I think Rumble probably does need stuff outside of political content, but at the moment, it's mostly just people doing politics on there and political content on there. I have my Rumble channel on there, and I try periodically to like update it, but it's hard for me to keep up on it, and it's just not doing as well as far as like this kind of content as I was able to do here on YouTube. I don't know why, but
maybe I'm petty, but there's people that I completely despise that are on Rumble, and that kind of like makes me not want to use Rumble. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I think it's just hard. Like, it's not. I don't know if it's the algorithm, but it's. I don't think like as much as evil as Google is that owns YouTube, as evil and politically motivated and awful as they are, like I think that YouTube is just a necessary evil in a lot of ways. You're going to reach more people on here than you would on any other platform.
Well, it's the same with DriveThruRPG. People are like, why are you using DriveThruRPG? Because that's 90% of my sales, dude. I've tried other platforms. I've tried Itch. I've tried, Big Geek Emporium. I've tried all these things. Sorry, DriveThruRPG makes me way more money.
Yeah.
Free money, too.
Yeah.
Because all you do is put your thing up there, and it makes money forever. You don't have to do anything else.
I mean, they do take like 30 to 35%, but
Yeah.
I'd rather sell like 1,000 books and then give them 30% than sell like 10 books and keep all of the money.
Dark Knight says, so now that, I think you mean Conquistador, but now that Wight-Box is nearly done, John is free to work on the Conquistador supplement for Makuhita Whip Crack. Yeah, I need to work on that, but like, again, this is a part of being an indie, is that you have to be in the mindset for it. And I've just been, Makuhita was 2 years of research on human sacrifice and religion of the Aztec people and their wars and their culture, their society, their hierarchical structure.
Yeah.
Like it was 2 years of like me being like an armchair historian and academic researching this stuff. So I'm still spent after 2 years after the Kickstarter. I'm still spent on that project. It's hard.
Yeah, do you know how hard it is to make glass knives and then kidnap people and then put them
I did
on
a
a homemade pyramid? And
I did what is the like method acting? It was like method game design. That's how I did it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
They still haven't got a Boise Heart Whipper, but but,
they will now. You blew
yeah.
it. But yeah, I'm Wight-Box. I just got a message from the editor that I hired. He was saying he's done. He wants to get on a voice chat and chat about it. So
nice.
For this, like, I still got work to do on Wight-Box. It's not necessarily done. I think like some hard stuff is done and other hard stuff is about to be the problem. So, communication, logistics,
I get you.
Getting box art stuff set up and then having it sent back from the manufacturer because I did something wrong. Like, this is all going to be stuff that I'm gonna have to deal with going forward.
You're gonna have even more gray hair soon.
Yeah. brutal burn. Hey, if Pundit can copy and paste wiki, so can you.
Has he? I don't own his game, so I don't know how he describes stuff.
I haven't bought one of his things in a while, so yeah.
No.
And I got rid of the books of his, unfortunately that I have, so I'm not really interested in what he does.
Yeah, I don't really buy a lot of like super mainstream, like, books like what he does. Like trans characters on the cover, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he's really proud of that with the
Arrows of Indra.
Arrows of Indra, yeah. Thank you for the $2 there, though. Didu, do you have a Discord server you can link on the description? Also, check out my previous comment on some more design stuff. What did you say up here? Was it more about black powder? Was it this? To add onto my black powder stuff, I want a Gonzo Science Fantasy module that has gear like that seen in Greg Gillespie's Hyperborea. I don't think he did Hyperborea. He did Dragon Slayer. That's
what's his face?
Why
is it not coming to me?
Yeah, is his name Jeff Talanan?
Yeah.
He did that. He did Hyperborea or anomalous subsurface environments.
Oh.
I have Vic. He's gonna probably make Wight-Box stuff, I'm sure. And then I do have a zine, and I'm probably going to reincorporate it into a supplement for Wight-Box, where I do have Barsoom style guns and airships. Because 0E explicitly mentions the Barsoom setting as like deserts, so Mars and 0E can essentially be Barsoom. And I do the same thing in Wight-Box, although I don't use the Barsoom names because I don't want to get sued by the Burroughs estate. But I'm going to probably rework that zine into a expanded supplement that I think could be tacked on to Wight-Box. That's something I do have in mind to work on.
Yeah. No, I'm the guy that does like the ray guns and the auto guns and like all that stuff. I am working on 0E Dark 30 for Wight-Box, which is going to be like modern special forces hunting monsters and stuff, like going after the giant of Kandahar, or like hunting like a vampire in some Eastern European castle, like or like oh, ISIS summoned a jinn, go deal with it, like stuff like that. So that should be fun. And then
first...
Yeah,
sorry. Go. Keep. I thought you were.
Oh no, and I'll probably do like other stuff after that. But go ahead, John.
I'll say to the first question here. I don't have a Discord server. I have a Guilded server. There should be a link to join in the video description. You have to sign up with a Roblox account because they're owned by Roblox. But I have a vendetta against Discord because in the COVID pandemic in 2020, I was a member of I lived in California at the time, and I was a member of a California gun owners group that was very innocuous. All we did was discuss how to keep our guns fake and gray and compliant with California ridiculous gun laws. And during COVID, they nuked a bunch of servers like that and permabanned anyone that was like a member of those kinds of servers. And so the server was banned and I was permabanned from that server. And I was still bitter about it. So I have a new Discord account, but I don't have my own server, and I use Gilded instead because Gilded has a lot of the same stuff and more, that stuff that costs money on Discord you just get for free on Gilded. So yeah, Malachi has the join link here.
Yeah,
I tried to post that I would run a theater of war for Titans, and it won't let me post it. I think it's because I use the word war. It's like YouTube doesn't like that or something. It's weird.
Weird.
Hey, to be fair, I did finish 2 of them. I finished a simple single action, and I finished Cutting Edge. I am waiting on the proofs right now from Drive-Thru RPGs, so people will be able to get the print-on-demand version. I just need to do the adventure still. So I mean, 4 books in less than 2 years isn't bad, I think.
Gilded, the blue sky of Discord, but more base. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they at least Discord seemed like they just get more curated with the kind of servers they want, and Gilded seems a little more hands off. So I wish that there was an actual historical medieval one. Are you talking about a game? Am I missing a previous comment from you? I don't know. That has 0 magic. There are many that are close, but not close enough for me. Well, I think that if I did this universal system and I did a Reconquista or a Byzantine Empire thing, I'm pretty sure I would keep it like hard historical for that kind of medieval stuff, because that stuff interests me too. I'm with you there, where having like this very historical setting and historical way of playing it, where everyone is there's no magic. I think that like appeals to me in some respects, or at least like that's the core game, that's the core idea, and maybe there's like add-ons that you could do where you could put in some mythical creatures and maybe some mythical elements. But even that, I think in my idea for a Byzantium game where they're fighting the first caliphate or something like that, or in the Reconquista thing where they're trying to reconquer the Iberian Peninsula from the Muslims, from that caliphate, I kind of want it to be pretty grounded, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't blame.
Apologies for asking you to speak more on Makuhito, but can you give a few words on the history behind the Ghost Woman? I'm starting a campaign soon with a group. I don't remember. I think are you talking about the way a not Nwahali can transform into the Ghost Woman form? That's just something within their culture that they said they could do. That if a woman, this ghostly woman appears to you, that's probably like a Nwahali that is using some sort of sorcery or magic to mess with you, a shaman or whatever who's messing with you. I think there is, I don't have the book in front of me, there is a monster, I think, that is also a ghost woman. And those are just like creatures from mythology that I just plucked out of mythology, or some creatures I were inspired by mythology. Like my orcs in the setting are essentially 8 people, monkey people, because one of the worlds, all the people, one of the stories is all the people were turned into monkeys, and I thought it'd be fun to have like an 8 people that somehow survived. And so that's like purely me and being injected into the lore and history, because I felt like I needed more monsters. But I don't remember the woman part. I'd have to look into my book, which I don't have in front of me right now. On my Discord server, we're talking about setting up our own message board so we can talk a bit more freely. Yeah. This sounds interesting. Take a look at Stara Scola on drive-through
Scola, yeah.
Scola on drive-through RPG set. Medieval Baltic in the early 1400s. That sounds cool.
Does Wolves of God have magic?
I think it's very limited. I think like
Yeah.
I have to look at it. I haven't looked at that book in a while. I have it on my. I'm looking at it right now on my shelf. But I think that you can be like a religious class, like a priestly class, but you're pretty useless in combat. So
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the Noahali. So yeah, that was just one of the forms that they said that a Noahali could take, that a sorcerer could take, would be they would project themselves as this ghost woman.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Aztecs believe that. I don't think I researched it that deep on that, but
almost every culture has some sort of ghost woman. Even like in the Netherlands, we have the witte wieven, which means like the sort of like the white wives or the white bitches, like almost.
Yeah.
And
there's
yeah,
banshees too.
yeah.
He's gonna have good and bad banshees, and rangers. They get to high levels can get banshees as a mythical follower, like giants or unicorns. That sounds interesting. Yeah. It's ectoplasm, I swear. It just makes me think of South Park. But yeah, I don't remember. I just think I remember reading that as a myth that they could do that and thinking that's cool. I'm going to incorporate that into the class. So I don't think I looked very much beyond that because I was looking at other parts too. So I don't think I looked into the origin. They might not even know. The one thing we have to understand with Aztec history is that the Aztecs were very propagandistic, and there are multiple instances where an emperor destroyed all previous records and then rewrote them. So what we think we know about Aztecs, we have to take with a grain of salt as far as their history is concerned, because they rewrote their history quite often as a propagandistic sort of mentality. And that's one thing we have to understand about history too, is that we have this modern post-Enlightenment view of history. And that's not how most people pre the Enlightenment viewed history. They did not view history that way. So it makes it. I think going back with the post-Enlightenment view on history into ancient history can be a bit anachronistic and can get you into trouble in some respects if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice here a little bit, so I might have to end the stream here. We've gone for almost 2.5 hours. What is the Kickstarter at now? It's
60,000. No,
that'd be nice.
Yeah. 2 million. Like what?
Brett, 52,600. 866. So it's gonna probably hit 53 soon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it hits at least like 55 plus these next 2 weeks while you keep the thing open.
Yeah, so late pledges are still going. If you missed the campaign, I'm going to keep them up for probably the next few weeks. Next 2 or 3 weeks, I'll probably keep them up. And then maybe after that, I'll release the PDFs. I'm going to respond to my editor here and get an idea of his fixes, and he's asking like when I want to launch the PDF, so I got to figure that out. But yeah, I'll probably just take his suggestions, his edits, and go through them and make the changes as I see fit. I just wanted a second pair of eyes for like grammar and spelling, and hey, this explanation of a rule doesn't make sense to me. You know, I just think that'd be beneficial for that. But yeah, check out Wight-Box, check out Vic's stuff, check out Greg's stuff from Chronicles of Iris here. He has a cool mecha game, kaiju and mecha game, Titans of Fallen Earth. Add the Inca. I don't really want to. People have asked that, and it's just like their society is not exactly like the Aztecs, so it would require probably another 2 years of research. And I'm struggling to do the conquistadors, so I don't know if I have the energy at the moment or the mindset or the will to do Incas and dive into that stuff again. If I'm honest. Maybe someday in the future, or if someone else wants to do it, I would support that. If you wanted to make the Inca as like an opposing faction for Makuhito, like, and you think you can do a good historical job that's on par with what Makuhito's trying to do, go for it. But it's not on my docket anytime soon to do something like that.
Can I share my screen real quick?
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
So I've been working on the blacklight layout. This is work in progress, but you can kind of see what I'm getting at. So it's gonna have like that rough like document look, and like somebody also like doodled in it and like wrote in it, like gave his little comments to stuff. Extra pictures and stuff like pasted in.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so I always ask for more ammo at the portal on clean socks. Let's see. There's some funny comments that I put in there. Yeah, so these are the classes. Oh fuck! Stupid mouse.
Yeah, it looks like a old military dock or something like that. I like that look.
Yeah, and then we've got some Nolan Collins art. We deal in lead friends. Magnificent Seven, cool movie. So yeah, I need to find the vehicle chapter because I enjoyed that quote that I put in.
So this is the last, for people that are unaware, maybe this is the last Kickstarter that you did.
Yeah,
right?
It's for Shadow Dog. It's my modern like supplement for Shadow Dog, where you're like an agency that deals with like extra dimensional monsters and stuff.
There you go, vehicles.
Did I go past it? I think I went past it.
I think you shared that one where it was like someone's name is scribbled out.
Yeah, this one is it's 66 miles to Carcosa. We got a full tank of gas, half a belt of 7.62. It's dark and we're wearing night vision. So some agent is bored, like reading his instruction manual, like just wrote stuff like, if you see this, shoot first, ask questions later.
I like the barcode on the side and stuff like that. It's cool.
Yeah, so I put like little flourishes like that in. Do not catalog and open systems. Clear in Sigma Black. Notice Nocturne protocol applies. Eyes only. Custody class. Obsidian Index 7. Restricted. I have no idea what any of that means, but it sounds weird and cool. So.
Well, and this is I think also to point to people like, hey, do your own layout. Like, learn this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like Vic learned how to do this, and I think it looks pretty good. I like what you've done here.
Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted that rough document look. So, and the art is like a mix of real pictures and drawn stuff. So the idea is like this guy like who owns it, he just slapped in whatever was relevant, or maybe it was already in there. So I'm almost done with most of the chapters. I still need to write a little adventure that's at the end. It's probably going to be like an abandoned summer camp that's taken over by like shadow worshipping cultists.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun. I need to figure out how to use Canvas of Kings, so you might have to help me with that because I need to make the maps with that. But I'm dumb and I couldn't figure it out. So
I can show you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm almost done with Blacklight. I'm just waiting on some more art from Nolan to come in. And then just need to wrap up the layout, but that's done. And then the last thing that I have left after that is just the bunker in the Badlands for modern necessities. So and then I'll finally be done with everything under 2 years.
Sorry, I'm responding to someone here. Greg, are you there? Do you want to tell anyone about anything before we close out the stream? He said he'd be right back, so I don't know if I don't know if he's there. he has a mecha game, Titans of Fallen Earth. He also has his Ares Chronicles, and he's working on a 2E Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2E supplement version of his Chronicles of Ares, where he's like really leaning into, I think, high myth, high fantasy, good and evil. So if you're into that sort of thing, I would suggest you check that out. Chronicles of Ares. Yeah,
I think so again.
Well, so he's doing it for 2E, and I'm excited to see some love thrown at other things.
Yeah,
like
I was about to say that. I actually want to see within the kind of general OSR, I want to see more 2E stuff. I know it's not the most popular edition. People are like, 1E is better, but I don't know. I think there's enough 2E fans that it's kind of like an underserved like audience.
There's honestly not a whole lot of 1E stuff though either.
Like, it's mostly BX and
like, everything's BX. So
yeah. Yeah, I guess Hyperborea is like 1E technically, sorta. But yeah.
I think I saw this comment. I missed it before. I've been working on my own combo war game, skirmish game, DTRPG, which is a little rich since I'm no games. Hopefully running your game, DMing for the first time will give me a bunch of insights. Yeah. I think that coming with running games will really help inform. And I would encourage you to try and run lots of different games. Go check out Call of Cthulhu. Go check out Harn. I don't know. Check out different games and try and like run those, see how they're done, and you'll start to like get your own preferences or a lot of concepts, design concepts, and it'll help you with your own game design. So I encourage you to do that. I think that's awesome. Check out Affinity too, like what Vic was just showing his work in. That'll help you. That you can get the layout done yourself.
Yeah. If you get the whole suite, it really helps because
you can change personas. It's really useful. But yeah, we'll end it here. Thank you all so much for supporting this project. I'm going to bring it up one last time here. Where we're at right now. 52,866. Like, yeah, I think with late pledges, by the time I'm ready to like cut off the box set late pledges, I wouldn't be surprised if it was at 60K at that point.
I would say at least 55 plus 60. I think that'd be awesome. Just keep shilling it, dude. Like, don't just like sit on your laurels now. Like, keep fucking pushing it.
Yeah, I still need to probably do some. I could still go on and do interviews with people. It sucks that I got sick at the end of the campaign here because I literally had no voice. So there was no way for me to even like organize something with someone to get some to get on there. But
yeah,
thank you all for supporting this Kickstarter and making it happen. It's a huge step for me. I feel like I've reached the next level. It encourages me and keeps me honest and wants me to keep the quality high with what I do. And so I'm super grateful for that, to see where things go in the future here with this kind of stuff. I think anything's possible at this point. And if you're a designer out there, like, I will just encourage you to keep grinding at it. This didn't happen for me like overnight. Like, this has been a slow burn for like 10 years of working at this, and trying to get to this point. So it takes time. Yeah, and I agree with Crafty. We're entering the era of true fans of TTRPGs now. So well, we'll end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching, and go back, Wight-Box, go check out Blacklight, go check out Titans of Fallen Earth and Chronicles of Ares, and support local indie creators. Not local, but support indie creators that are making cool stuff. They're out there taking a risk. They're out there trying to make something that probably the big corpos and suits would be too scared to make. And I think that kind of work needs to be supported. So we'll catch you guys in the next stream.
Bye, everyone.
Because they are, in fact, experiencing mentally a whole